headlights and the side lights. Yo, this is crazy. Look at that thing light up. These headlights look insane. The suspension is crazy. I just got my brand new LEOOUT T85 electric scooter, and I cannot wait to unbox this thing and see what's inside. So I currently already have a T88 electric scooter from LEOOUT, and I absolutely love that thing. So I had to get the T85, and look at these headlights. They look insane with the red around the ring and these huge meaty tires. So if you guys don't know, this scooter has dual motors that is going to be 5,600 watts. This thing is going to be so fast, and I've watched videos of people on YouTube laying tire for 10, 15 feet before this thing totally catches traction. As I'm taking this out of the box, this looks absolutely amazing. I also love how this scooter comes with a tool so you can make sure you tighten all the nuts and bolts, and you can just keep this in your pocket or just throw it in your backpack when you're on the go. All right, so we're gonna have 2 of these battery packs, and we're gonna plug these into the scooter while I'm setting up everything else, just so it gives it a little bit of time to charge, because I think it does need to charge. And I'm really excited because I've never ridden a scooter that has a seat on it, so I'm excited to try that out. We got springs on there, we got shocks on there. This thing is looking absolutely ferocious with the lights. The tires are just so knobby and big. We got the hydraulic brakes with the huge disc, dual motor. This thing is looking so mean. I cannot wait to get riding on this thing. But if you're not familiar, all we're gonna do is unplug this right here, and then we also have one there. So these are only gonna go in one way because there's a notch on here, so you'll just kind of find it. Yep, that goes right in. And then we take this and we plug it in. You can hear the fan going off, and we are in red, so that needs to be green in order for that to charge up. Same thing with this one, because we do have 2 motors, and that one is gonna go that way. Plug that in all the way, and take this one. We're gonna go up here. Okay, so they're both gonna be on now, and we're both showing red. Probably shouldn't have them hanging like this, but I don't really have a choice right now because I don't have anything to set these on. My outlets are super high in the air. I'd probably recommend just having outlets, plugging it in closer to the ground. So we still got the handlebars to set up. I am gonna prop this up, put the kickstand up. Okay, so from here, I'm just gonna push down on that. Still got all this to do, and that is just gonna lock right like that. That is crazy. And then we're just gonna pop the kickstand down. Little piece of plastic, pop the kickstand down. Okay, so I already have a T88 scooter from LEOOUT, so I can say this deck size definitely looks like probably 3-4 inches wider, and it just looks so mean. We got the grip tape. There's some similarities to it, like this part looks similar to the T88. This back rear looks similar. Same with the frame here, but there's a lot that's super different to make this thing really stand out. So we want to push this up in order to lock this in place. All right, so having that gold piece up is gonna keep that locked. In order to fold this scooter, you have to put that gold back down and hit the lever, and it'll fold back down. All right, first thing we're gonna do is just take this piece off of the top. Next, we are gonna run it like this. So I like to have the cable on the right side. I think it's just more natural whenever you put this on. And we're just gonna put this all the way down to the bottom first. So make this a lot easier. And then you're just gonna put the top on and screw that all the way down. You just wanna slam it all the way down, tighten it up, give it a good little crank. So that's a 5mm. Second, pull that stem all the way up to the top, and then I'm gonna tighten this down. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, you wanna make sure that it's gonna be straight to the wheel. And this is gonna take a minute because these are kind of loose, so just take your time. But let's not overcomplicate anything here. This is a pretty easy scooter to assemble. There's nothing really too crazy about this. So we're just gonna make sure that that's gonna be straight to the wheel. And you just wanna be even on these, tightening on both sides. All right, I'm not gonna tighten these all the way yet, but I definitely will here in a minute. Wanna make sure that everything else is tight. All right, this wanna make sure you have this tightened. You spin this clockwise, and then that'll make this harder to actually go on. And again, you wanna just make sure that it's like straight, but we're gonna do all that at the end. But that is how you raise and lower this, but you want to make sure that this is going to be completely tight so that this is hard to actually push down, because you want that to have resistance, so it's going to be on there really nice. Next, I'm going to switch over to my 4mm, and I'm kind of just gonna make sure the bars have like a slant up, because you don't want that to be forward. You want that to go up and be flat. So we're gonna have that pretty flat. And again, you want to get this centered up, and you want to take your time. So if you've never set up like a BMX bike or something, you want to make sure all of these are going to be going down at the same time. That's going to enable you that everything is going to be snug. If you just tighten one side, there's a chance that this is not going to actually be secured all the way. All right, after you have this lined up how you want it, definitely want to make sure that it's in a position where when you're hitting the throttle, it's comfortable. So that might be a little bit too far up for me. I'm going to rotate that back. So you can see, for instance, like the brakes, those are a little bit high. Let's see which millimeter this is. This is a 4mm, but the brakes are just a little bit high for me. When you're riding a scooter that's gonna be this powerful, you wanna make sure that it's all adjusted properly. But those brakes, like, were just way too high. I like my brakes down here so that I'm able to grab them very quickly and easily without it being in the way. And you want to make sure that there is a little bit of a gap between the throttle. You do not want everything pinned up together, because then the throttle can stick, and you do not want that. Sometimes I adjust these way more than once, but overall I do like how you can adjust those. Then I'll just do the same for the other side, and then we're gonna put that LCD screen on this beautiful scooter. All right, now we're gonna set up this LCD screen. So what you're gonna have to do is just take these all the way off, and you just want to be careful, because I'm pretty sure the nuts on the back will fall off. We're just gonna take the nut off first, put that off to the side. And then we're gonna take the bolt, put that off to the side, just so we can get this open. We wanna make sure that we're not gonna lose anything. But we're gonna put this onto the handlebars. This is gonna be adjustable. So we do have the NFC lock and unlock that's gonna come with it. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But you know, you're gonna wanna put the screen where you like it when you're riding. You obviously don't want it to be like way too high. You don't want it to be pointing down so you can't see it. So just at a nice, comfortable angle will be good. I haven't really messed with mine a whole lot. I thought that they were just fine the first time I set them. Put the screw in the back. Gotta be careful you don't lose these things. They will fall right out. And I'm about getting ready to turn this thing on. We're getting to the end here of assembly. All right, that baby's on. It's looking good. There should be a little bit of a film over this, so let's take that off. That is looking solid. Okay, let's try to turn this on. So back this up a second here. If this is anything like my other scooter, in order to turn this on, you gotta like hit the power button and put one of these NFC cards on there. There you go. This thing's on. It's actually displaying full battery, and these chargers are still red. So we may be all good to ride this actually. Thought I was gonna have to wait overnight, read the manual, and to change that to miles per hour. I know there's a little hack there to do that, but that screen's looking good overall. So let's take a recap here of what we did so far. We took this off, we put it on, we put the stem on, got the handlebars all nice. I adjusted every single one of these, so I was able to retighten all of this, retighten the brakes on the front and the rear, and kind of just move the grips around. I did redo this throttle. I may have to touch that again, but you could push it up or down depending on if your thumb is hitting it at a good spot. And I did want this cable over here coming out on this side. You could probably do either or, it wouldn't matter. We tightened this up, and you do have adjustability through here, so you just have to loosen this, and then you can take these and just pop them up as you go. Everything else on here should be tight. And that was the same way with my other scooter. I got my T85 right over here. Everything looks pretty identical. This was red, the other ones were black, but I didn't have to do anything really else. We're gonna put the seat on right now. It wouldn't be a bad idea to check all the nuts and bolts. It's actually probably what I would recommend, but as far as my experience went for this, this was the only thing that I had to do, was kind of just this section over here, tighten everything up. Everything should be pretty good to go. All right, so now I'm about to install this seat. This part in the bottom looks as easy as just pushing up and then just locking that in place. You just open that up and we can put the seat in. Yeah, that should be good. So tighten that down. That'll lock that in place so we could just keep the seat straight. So if you do want to push that down, that is just a quick release. And this thing is looking pretty crazy right now. I can't believe we have a seat. All right, so that is sitting good. We got the spring on here too, so that's pretty nice. You know, if you want to sit down here, that's actually pretty comfortable. I feel like I could commute around the city with this all day long. So let's turn this thing on. Okay, so we got this thing powered up now. Let's turn on the lights. What do we got here? Headlights and the side lights. Yo, this is crazy. Look at that thing light up. These headlights look insane. They got like the demon eye on there with the red around the side, and then we got the lights going all the way around the side. That is pretty crazy. I love the lights, and it looks like we have a pretty nice brake light too in the back, and that's gonna work whether you hit the front or the rear brake. And I'm seeing an ABS light actually on here, so I think we actually have, I don't know if we have an ABS system, but we definitely have dual hydraulic brakes, which is gonna be insane on the street. And with these dual motors, this thing is gonna fly. I'm gonna run through a couple of these settings, but this looks absolutely amazing. I cannot believe the look of this. All right, so check this out. We got the LEDs on the bottom. I'm pretty sure that you cannot change the way that that goes. I think it's just gonna be the flashing lights. I like the brake lights in the back. So these are just gonna be the running lights. Brake lights are gonna be up top whenever you do hit the brake. You're gonna get a really nice bar here so you can stand on this. It'll support your weight. You can do wheelies on here if that's your thing. We got a nice display up top. It's gonna show you the battery. You can cycle through a ton of different settings here. So we got the time that you're riding. We got the mileage. So if you just want to clock your mileage for that day, and then your total mileage is going to be right there. And then we got the battery voltage. It's automatically set to 65. You could change a couple of these and you can like reset it. And then you're going to have the gear speed. So we're going to have like gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to be able to switch around. So as you can see right here, this is going to be D. That is going to be the eco mode. And whenever you hit this button here, it's going to change to S, so we can cycle back and forth between D and S. D is going to be the eco, so you can run through all 5 of these modes. So whenever you switch to S, you're going to be in the sport mode, and then you're going to have 5 more different settings. This is going to have 10 different speed adjustments all the way through. This is going to be absolutely insane. And take a look at those headlights. That looks crazy. I love the accent going all the way around. And you're also going to get 2 NFC keys, so you can just keep one in your drawer and then keep one on you, because you do need to turn this on and off with your set of keys. We can adjust the bars, like I said, and the shocks are just crazy. I love the seat. You can take that off completely if you don't like it. All you got to do is just remove a couple of these Allens all the way around. You can take that completely off. That's not your thing. If you are a commuter, this is definitely going to be a good option. The suspension is crazy. All right guys, so I did figure out how to get this over to miles per hour. You can see mine is miles per hour, and I'm gonna show you right here how to do it. So what you're gonna do is take the plus and minus button, and you're gonna press them both down at the same time for 3 seconds, and then it's gonna have a P0. You're gonna hit the power button once, and that's gonna give you P1. And then from there, you're gonna be able to go up and down. You can either just go plus or minus, and you'll see right on the bottom, it'll display kilometers or miles per hour. So right there it says miles per hour, and then you just have to hit the power button all the way to the end, like P12, P13, and it'll just back out to the home screen.